I used to think my life was uncomplicated, not dull, just reliably predictable in a way that felt comforting. After 25 years of marriage, you fall into a rhythm. You know each other's habits, moods, little oddities. Sophia and I had ours. Morning coffee, a quick lunchtime check-in call, dinner together, and a glass of wine while the evening news played. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, but it was ours, and I believed it worked. At least I believed it did. With both our kids away at college, the house had gotten quieter. Sometimes too quiet, but we filled that silence with each other. Small jokes, casual touches, the same old stories retold 100 times. I honestly thought she knew me better than anyone. Maybe I depended on that belief more than I should have. Then one Thursday night we were on the couch like we always were. The TV was on but muted. The remote was in her hand. Out of nowhere she turned to me and said, "Can I ask you something without you freaking out?" I laughed, expecting one of her oddball questions. She usually led with a line like that. "Sure," I said, curious. She gave a tiny, nervous laugh. "I mean it. Just hear me out, okay?" I nodded. "Go ahead." She paused for a beat and then asked, "What would you think about opening our marriage?" At first I assumed she was joking. I laughed, waiting for the smile, but it never came. Her face was oddly steady, expectant. I blinked at her. "Wait, what do you mean by that?" Sophia turned toward me, arms folded, like she was presenting a syllabus. Or maybe something we tried together. Just once. Nothing serious. Just explore. That word, explore, landed like poison. "You're serious?" I tried to keep my voice steady. "I'm not saying we have to do it," she answered quickly. "Just talk about it." My heart was pounding, but I tried not to let it show. "Where is this coming from?" I asked. She looked away for a moment. "I've been thinking," she said. "We've been together a long time, Bruce. I love you, you know I do, but maybe we've gotten too used to each other." "You mean you're bored?" I asked flatly. "That's not what I said," she replied, but the meaning hovered between us. "I just want to feel something different. Not with someone else instead of you, with you. I want to experience this with you." I couldn't meet her eyes. I stared at the television, at nothing in particular, trying to stay calm. That night I lay awake while she slept beside me as if nothing had shifted. But everything had shifted, she'd said. "Open our marriage." And the phrase looped in my head like a song you can't get rid of. We'd survived kids and jobs and scares and the dull grind. And now she wanted to explore, like we were students testing boundaries. I waited a few days, hoping she'd laugh it off or blame the wine. She didn't. She acted like the conversation had never happened, like she hadn't just dropped a grenade into our living room. By Sunday, I couldn't hold it in. We were doing dishes. I shut the dishwasher a little too hard and she looked up. "You okay?" she asked. "No," I said honestly. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed again. "It's still bothering you." "Of course it's bothering me," I snapped. "You asked if we could sleep with other people." "Sophia, that's not something I just shrug off. It was just an idea," she said defensively. "We don't have to turn it into a huge thing." "Not a huge thing," I thought. I stepped closer. "You suggested bringing someone else into our marriage after 25 years. That's not a passing thought, Sophia. That's an earthquake." Her eyes narrowed. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said, trying to be measured. "I'm being honest. You want me to be okay with watching you be with someone else, or worse, pretending I'm into it." "That's not what I said. You said we could experience it together." "What does that even mean?" She didn't answer at once. Then, "People do it, Bruce. It's not the end of the world." For me it was. She looked at me, and for the first time in a long while I recognized something unfamiliar in her face. Then she said, "You're just afraid of change." That was when I knew something in her had moved. Maybe it had been shifting for a while, and I'd simply missed the signs. I wanted to tell myself it was a phase. Midlife restlessness, the quiet house playing tricks. But things changed. Her phone buzzed more. She started dressing up for errands, perfume on errands, hair done, gym visits that didn't leave her sweaty. And that smile, the private one, like she was carrying a secret. I didn't want to snoop, I swear I didn't. But one night she fell asleep on the couch with her laptop open and still logged in. Not her real name, just a shadow avatar and a username that used our wedding date. I clicked it and found swinger forums, private groups, explicit messages to strangers, posts about partner swaps and group events. The messages were crude. Then I saw this. "See you Saturday night. Can't wait to meet in person." Saturday, 2 days away. She had plans. She already had decided. She didn't tell me until that evening. I was in the kitchen pouring a drink, trying to keep it together, when she came in wearing a red dress I hadn't seen in years. Hair perfect, nails new. She was glowing. Big night? I asked as calmly as I could. She smiled. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something. I waited. There's a party tonight. Something a little different. Private, just for couples, open-minded people. I kept my voice even. What kind of party? She smiled like she was describing a book club. A swingers party. I blinked as if I hadn't just read the invite 2 nights ago. A what? A swingers party, she repeated. I was going to bring it up eventually. I wanted to invite you to watch you with someone else. My voice tightened. She rolled her eyes. Come on, Bruce. Don't be so dramatic. It's just a party. It's not cheating if we both agree. You already agreed. You made plans before telling me, I said. She crossed her arms. Because I knew how you'd react. Damn right I'd react this way, I said. We're partners. Or at least I thought we were. You don't spring this on me and expect me to smile. You're stuck in an old mindset, she snapped. People do this. It's supposed to bring couples closer. I want to try it with you. I took a breath, heart pounding. Is that what you really believe? I asked. She held my gaze. Yes, I want to try it with you. A long silence. Then I said, if you walk out that door tonight, if you go to that party, we're done. No coming back. No talking it over later. Done. She stared like she couldn't believe I meant it. You're serious? She asked. I was more serious than I'd felt in years. She let out a slow breath, looked down, then walked past me, grabbed her purse, and left without another word. I stayed in the kitchen with my hands on the counter, watching the door close. And just like that, the silence returned. But this time it felt permanent. I didn't move. I sat in the dark trying to work out when I stopped seeing her clearly. When did the change begin? This year? Last year? 5 years ago? I couldn't tell. At 1:42 a.m. the garage door creaked and her car pulled in. She came home, but I didn't go to meet her. I didn't ask where she'd been or how it had gone. I didn't want to know. I listened instead. The sharp tap of heels on hardwood, the soft jingle of keys dropping into the bowl by the door, the fridge opening and closing for a water bottle, a glass set on the counter, and then silence. She walked past the living room as if she'd only been out on a normal errand. Still up? She asked casually, as though nothing had shifted. I gave no answer. She paused for a beat, waiting for some reaction. When I offered nothing, she made a quiet sigh as if I were being unreasonable, then went down the hallway to our bedroom. I sat there for hours, sleepless while my mind raced. Eventually I picked up my phone, not really searching for anything, just needing something to do with my hands. Out of habit I opened the photo gallery. Old pictures of us, the kids when they were small, birthdays, beach days, that dinner in Rome. Moments frozen from when things fell whole. Then I saw a video file with no name, only a timestamp, 2 hours ago. My chest tightened. Her phone had synced to the cloud automatically. She'd forgotten it was still linked to mine. The thumbnail was enough to warn me. A dim hotel room lit red, a half-visible wine bottle, and her arm with a bracelet I gave her for our 15th anniversary. Something twisted in my gut. I tapped play. Her face filled the screen, close to the camera, smiling and laughing, voice a little slurred and flirtatious. Film this for me, she said to someone behind the phone. I want to remember it. She backed up and the rest came into view. 3 shirtless men around her, touching her like she was a prize. She welcomed it, kissed one, kissed another, whispered something to a third that made him grin and pull her closer. She looked radiant, livelier than I'd seen her in years, and not once did she appear like someone tethered to the life at home. I stopped the video before it ended. I couldn't bear more. I just sat there in the quiet room, my hand over my mouth, heart heavier than I'd ever felt. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a single betrayal. She had filmed herself doing it, handed me the proof like it was a souvenir. That was no accident. It was a choice. The next morning, I came out of the guest room. I hadn't slept. I'd stared at the ceiling all night. Sophia was in the kitchen humming as she made coffee, like she'd just returned from a spa weekend. When she saw me, she slid a mug across the counter. Morning, she said. I figured we could take a drive later, maybe lunch by the lake. I didn't answer. I just looked at her. Her smile dimmed. What? She asked more quietly. I sat down and set my phone on the table. Sit, I said. She hesitated, then sat. For a moment something passed in her eyes. Recognition, the sync, the cloud, the video, but it was too late. I opened the file and played it full screen. She watched herself laughing, undressing, being touched, being wanted, as if none of it mattered and none of us did. Her voice, her body, her joy given to strangers. When it ended, I locked the screen and looked at her. "I didn't know it would upload," she whispered. "I don't care," I said. "You still went. You still did it. And you smiled while you did." Tears came. "Reach for my hand," she begged. I pulled away. "I made a mistake," she said. "I just wanted something new. I didn't mean to hurt you." "No," I said. "You didn't make a mistake. You made a plan." She got up, pacing, talking fast about feeling lost and disconnected, about not knowing who she was, and about fixing it. Therapy, a fresh start. I asked one simple question. "Then why were you smiling?" Her mouth opened, but no answer came. I stood calm, detached. "I'm done." She blocked my path. Frantic. "Please don't do this. We have a family, a life. You can't throw it all away over one night. You threw it away when you left this house," I said and walked past her. She called after me, cried and begged, but I didn't look back. That night I drove with no destination, just miles of road under the tires and a dark sky overhead. My phone buzzed constantly. Texts, calls, voicemails, all from her. Apologies, please, empty promises. The one that lingered meant nothing to me. I'd seen the video and the way she smiled and touched them like it meant something beyond me and beyond us. Around 3 a.m. I parked at the edge of the quiet park where we'd once taken the kids. I sat in the car watching the streetlight sway, then sent one final message. "There's nothing left to talk about. I'll be filing in the morning." Then I blocked her number. It felt like surfacing for air after years of drowning. The next day, I followed through. I walked into my lawyer's office with a flash drive in hand. That video said what I couldn't say. I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace. I canceled our credit cards, changed the locks, packed her things, and left them on the porch. When she came home and saw it, she said nothing. She gathered what she could and left. I told the kids we'd talk when they were ready. I told my sister. I told Marcus, my closest friend. I wasn't hiding. This wasn't my shame to carry. She came back 2 days later and stood at the screen door, worn down. "Bruce," she said, voice raw. I panicked. "I didn't know how to talk to you," she admitted. I nodded. That would have been a good place to start. She wiped her face. "I thought if I did something wild I'd feel alive again." "And did you?" I asked. "No, I just feel sick," she said, looking past me into the house. "Can I come in?" I shook my head. "Not anymore." She stepped back as if I'd struck her. "What about the kids?" she asked. "They'll know and they'll decide for themselves," I said. She tried to say more, but I shut the door. That was the last time she stood on my porch. 6 months later, the divorce was final. Quick and brutal. She cried in mediation and tried to delay things to fix it. But that video erased every excuse. It was undeniable. We split the assets. I kept the house. She moved into a condo by the freeway. I didn't ask how she was paying for it. I didn't care. The kids struggled at first, but they understood. I never spoke ill of her. They made their own decisions. Time passed. The house grew quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. I started walking more, eating outside, finding small moments to breathe. One afternoon I even caught myself laughing. A real laugh. And it surprised me. While taking out the trash, my neighbor Dean stopped me. "Hey Bruce, can I say something?" he asked. I nodded. "About Sophia before everything. I used to see her leaving during the day. Sometimes she'd be picked up by a guy in a black car. Same guy a few times a week. I didn't think much of it then, but after the divorce he looked uncomfortable. I should have said something. I didn't want to interfere." "You didn't do anything wrong," I told him. And just like that, something inside me settled. It wasn't only that one hotel night. She had been living a separate life for a long time. The party was just the moment she stopped hiding it.